For ACUsports.com, I'm Grant Boone with head men's basketball coach Joe Golding after, Coach, I don't know, one of the best weeks certainly that I can remember in ACU men's basketball history. I've got to think it's the best week since we went Division I. You knock off two first-place teams, New Orleans on Wednesday in overtime, and then you beat Sam Houston State for the first time since you rejoined the conference, and that was on Saturday. You don't get back-to-back first-place teams, first of all, very often, but to do it, what does it tell you?
I just think it's credit to our players. I think, we've continued to trust the process. We've continued to try to get better each day. We lost a lot of tough, close games early. It's easy for a team to get discouraged, especially a team that's young. We went through a lot of adversity, but we continue to battle and fight. We've had great practices, and, we talked to them at the beginning of the week. We talked to them about two kind of different seasons, the first 9 and the second 9. New Orleans was the start of the second 9, and, what an opportunity to have two teams coming to your place that are both tied for first at the time, and we were able to beat New Orleans. That allowed Sam to be in first place by themselves when they beat SFA, and so it was very fortunate how the schedule worked out for us, and kind of gave us an opportunity to get motivated and to protect home floor. And more importantly for us as a program, I think we have a ton of respect for Sam Houston State. I don't think there's any question of what
New Orleans.
And New Orleans this year, and what Mark's done, and just over the course of us being in this league, the dominant teams in this league and has been Sam. And for us to be able to close the talent gap and be able to get a win over them on our home floor, I think says a lot about the direction we're going in this program. We still have a long ways to go. We're nowhere near close to being consistent to like Sam and those type of programs, but we're starting to get there, and you're starting to see some signs of it, and I think that's encouraging for myself and our staff.
I got a lot of people messaging me when the game ended on Saturday saying, wow, nice win. Other guys in the league who do play-by-play. And I think while it may have raised some eyebrows, wow, anyone who beats Sam right now, they'd won 8 games in a row. So anybody who beats Sam, it's a credit to them. But you're hearing, aren't you, from other coaches? You keep telling us that the league has so much parity, but that's what other coaches are telling you, isn't it? Basically same thing.
Obviously, we're new to this league, kind of in that sense. We haven't been in a lot, but this is the most parity I've seen. I think anybody can beat anybody on any given night, and I think you saw that last week. We were technically in last place in the league, and we beat 2 first-place teams. So I think men's basketball this year, it doesn't mean it's bad basketball. I just think that there's teams the gap is closing from the top to the bottom, and the middle half is continuing to get better. And there's just a lot of good coaches in this league. There's a lot of good players, and it's a tough league to travel in. There's a lot of long road trips, and so protecting home floor is something you have to do, and winning on the road is something that's tough to do. And any win you can get on the road is great. And obviously, the teams at the top half of our league have stole road wins. They've gone into other people's gyms and won on the road, and that's something we continue to struggle to do. And it's something for our program to take the next step. We're going to have to learn how to do it.
You got 2 huge road wins in non-conference. Yep. You go up to New Hampshire, a team that doesn't lose very often on its home floor, and then you beat, Charleston Southern down there in Charleston. So, and in almost every road game, you're right there, right? I mean, we're talking the difference in a possession here and there, aren't we?
Yeah, I think that you're exactly right. It's not like we're getting blown out. We're in the game, and we just got to find a way to win. Usually how you win is rebound the basketball, make free throws. That's something we've been very inconsistent with this year. It's not something that we have done great. And if you're going to be in close games, you got to be able to do those two things. You got to limit teams to second chance, one shot on a possession. You got to be able to get to the free throw line and knock down free throws, and then you have to be able to take care of the ball. And we have struggled to do those things consistently on the road. We've done those things much better at home. And so, again, I think another deal is when you have a young team, you're figuring out, in tough situations where the ball needs to go and how to get stops and leadership and things like that. So I think it's all a part of the process. There's no question. We just got to continue to try to get better each day and see what happens.
I think 27 of 32 at the free throw line on Saturday, and the 27 was great. The 32, Coach, that's 2 games in your last 3 you've gone to the free throw line at least 30 times.
Yeah, that's encouraging. We did that early in the year. I think there's no question Jalen Franklin is starting to he's back healthy. I think he's starting to get back in to the old Jay Frank. And
the old Jay Frank when he was a freshman.
Yeah, but we Jay Frank is a great player. He obviously went through a period there where he struggled at the free throw line. It's no secret. He probably lost being being as aggressive as he needs to be for us because he didn't want to get fouled and didn't want to get to the free throw line. I don't think there's any secret on that. But it's not like he didn't work on free throws. It's not like he didn't take the time to work on his game. But now he's more than the free throws. It's just him attacking. When he gets in his mindset in transition and when off missed shots and turnovers and he attacks, he can get to the rim and finish. He's really tough to defend and get fouled. More importantly than all that, I think he gets other people involved. That's why you've seen his assist numbers really go up over the last 2 or 3 weeks. He draws,
averaging 6 in the last 6 games.
A lot of attention. And he's able to find people, and those and guys on our team are able to hit shots. And so I think him and Jaron Lewis have both done a really good job of that. They both draw a lot of attention. They're both young, but they're starting to learn. Last year they didn't. Now this year they are. They're key focus points on our team. Teams are trying to stop those two, and they have to learn when teams try to do that. Then you have to trust your teammates.
Different deal, isn't it?
Right? And you have to learn to play. Then you also have to learn that when they don't do what they're supposed to do, then you have to go take advantage of it, and you have to go score. And so I think that both of those guys are doing a tremendous job of that. They're getting better each and every day with that in practice and in games, and I think it makes our team better.
One other thing about Saturday, if I would have told you before the game that your second leading scorer would foul out and not have a single field goal in the game, but that you were going to find a way to win, I don't know how many people would have believed that. But doesn't that speak to the pieces you have in place and the way you're coming together? You're not relying on any one or even two guys necessarily.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right on that. I think it's always been the way we've built this thing is about a team. It's always been about team. We don't want to be a program where one guy's averages 30 and everybody else just kind of does their job around him. There might be teams that are built like that that are successful. That's not how we want to build this program. I think when we're at our best, we've got 4, 5, sometimes 6 guys close to double figures. We take care of the basketball. We get to the free throw line, and we rebound the ball. We've been able to rebound the ball better with Jaron Lewis at the 3 and playing Hayden Howell for when we get bigger, and it's helped us. Obviously, Jaron is a double. I think
he's had 3 in his last 6
when he's played the 3, and so I think he's producing at that, and it helps us. There's no question when we do that. But this thing's always been built on team, whether it's defending, whether it's offensively. We're always going to be about team first. It's never going to be about ourselves, and I truly think that's the way to win. At this level, and I think our guys are starting to buy into that. I think they've bought into it all year. It's just you have to have results, and you have to win games. When you're not winning games, it's hard to believe that because guys they're not selfish, but they want to go make plays and they want to win. And when you win games playing the right way, they believe in it more, and hopefully it continues to get better.
Well, you'll get a chance to pick up your first conference road win of the year on Thursday night. You go over to Central Arkansas. They're a team that, again, they're a couple of games out of last and a couple of games out of second place as well. And they've got the reigning player of the week in Jordan Howard, who is terrific. I think you've had one game that didn't go down to the wire against Central Arkansas in the last 4 years. And we would expect, I guess, it's another night in the South, and it's probably going to be nip and tuck again, I'd imagine.
Yeah, they won 2 in a row this week too, and they're fighting to get to Katy, and obviously led by Howard and then the Comba kid and the Brooks kid. All 3 of those guys are 3 of the best scorers in the Southland Conference. Russ has done a great job with that program and turning it around, and those guys, I'm sure, excited coming down the stretch here to have an opportunity to play for Katy and maybe play their way into a second or third place, top 4 finish. So they've got a lot to play for. I know our guys will be ready. I still think we have a bad taste in our mouth for the game here. We had a lot of adversity going on at that time, and they came in here and they put it on us from the start. I thought they were the most aggressive team, no doubt, in that game. That they took it to us for 40 minutes, and that was a tough loss for us at home. And so I think our guys will be ready, to motivate them. We'll just have to turn on that tape this afternoon, and show them clips. And I also think it's great for Jalen Franklin. It's great for Trey Lennox. It's great for Ted Crass and those guys to be able to go back to Arkansas and see their family and friends. And so I'm sure they'll be excited to play and expecting a great game.
Riding high after beating a pair of first-place teams last week, ACU at Central Arkansas. Thursday night, 7 o'clock tip. We'll have the pregame show on the ACU Sports Network beginning at 6:45. For Joe Golding, I'm Grant Boone.